welcome to another brainstorming video. And this one, well, unlike the last one, I do have a card that I want to brew, and that is Aetherworks Marvel. So, I'm going to try and see what this deck can do. I'm sure there's something broken here. There is an extreme likelihood that this combination of Aetherworks Marvel and Ulamog is just busted because, well, let's be honest, it was busted during Kaladesh Standard. So we're going to start bringing in some of the components of that former standard deck. This is really going to be kind of an upgrade video to that. Taking a little bit of the shell that we know from Aetherworks Marvel in the past and bringing it up to current standards, for Pioneer at least. So here we have the real core of the deck, Aetherworks Marvel, Attune with Ether, Ulamog. I do just want to kind of refresh myself on what actually has and gives you energy. This deck used to be Teamer. That was, I'm sure, primarily based just because of the lands that were available at the time. But I do want to get a good idea of what the best colors for this might be. It could just be a mono-green ramp deck. It could just be a blue-green value Simic deck. Could be a Teamer deck. Could be green-red and just kind of go a little bit more aggro that way. We don't know. I'm inclined to go with Rogue Refiner here because it is just one of the more consistent value engines that you'll get. Oh yeah, don't forget Aether Hub here. Rogue Refiner gives us a card and energy and a body that can hold off really aggressive things. I believe Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot was a big part of this deck as well. So again, we're just kind of going back to the basics, getting what this deck used to be, but giving it some nice upgrades like a breeding pool, or 4. I don't know why I have 6 of these, but definitely want 4 Botanical Sanctums, because these are arguably the best lands in the format, along with our breeding pools. So now comes a question, what is this deck trying to do? I mean, we could go all in on energy like the previous builds of this were, but that feels a little too narrow. Like, we're still sticking to just those cards, and some say that that set was that broken in the past, but I don't know how much I believe that. It was broken for sure, but when you think about the entirety of the context of what Pioneer is, it might not be. What's the rest of this text on here? Okay. So this might be a nice little upgrade. Let's look at Emry, Lurker of the Loch. Another one of the cards that seems very busted, and the idea of putting permanents into our graveyard to get energy and using Emry to recur them makes me kind of want to look at a sacrifice style blue-green artifact deck. Maybe? I'm intrigued. Let's see what artifacts are in this format that have the word sacrifice on them that we can recur. Ooh. Golden Egg. There's battlefield, draw a card. You can sacrifice it to gain life or to filter your mana. Witch's Oven. Sacrifice a creature to create a food. Let's throw a bunch of these in here. Ginger Brute. Do we want Ginger Brutes in here? Are we aggro or... I don't know about that. I think Golden Egg just because it redraws, it replaces itself, and it also enables our strategy. Oh, I was really impressed with Salvager of Ruin. And this gives us a nice little engine too, because if we take a Salvager of Ruin, bring back something that we just sacrificed, and run it back, that could be pretty cool. Found a Renewal. Okay. Forgive me if I'm kind of flying around here. I'm just doing this all off the top of my head. Treasure Map was a really sweet card. It might be a bit slow. I mean, it was kind of slow for its format, but it was always good, I think. Renegade Map. Maybe? I don't know if we're trying to be just an outright ramp deck, but we could be. I don't know. I'll keep that in my back pocket for now. I forgot this is a card, Soul Separator. Super flavorful, but we're not here to be flavorful. We're here to break some marbles. Burnished. Oh, Tormod's Crypt is a 0-drop that gives you a free sacrifice. Rajabomb also. These can definitely go in this deck. Tormod's Crypt is probably sideboard, but we'll see. It's mana. What else is here? Scrabbling Claws. Oh, that's an old card. Wait, that was from Mirrodin? What's that doing? Oh, that was reprinted recently. Oh, yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that was a reprint. Okay. Man, that art looks so much better, though. Alright. What else can we put in here? Let's get some lands in, because right now we only have 12 lands and we're already almost full. So let's at least get some basic lands in here. Oops. Gotta make sure I get my unstable forests. Okay. 19 lands. Is that enough? 20? Looking at this, the things we want to sacrifice aren't creatures. Like, we have maybe 3 creatures in the whole deck. The Salvager, the Rogue Refiner, and Emry's. And we don't really want to be sacrificing those to a Witch's Oven. Maybe that'll work, maybe not. Oh, actually, before we get into that, Fabled Passage is a really nice, whenever a permanent is sacrificed, let me just double check here. Yeah, a permanent you control is sacrificed or put into the graveyard, get an energy. So that's just a nice little energy boost for us, even if we don't find a land for it later on. That's sweet. Yeah, let's just take these out of here. Treasure map seems really slow in this, and Ratchet Bombs, I think we can just move to the sideboard. They seem a little bit more sideboardish, especially if we're running against really aggro decks, which, like I said in the last video, I feel like we really want something, but something that gives us treasure would be a really nice engine of just something that we can sacrifice continuously to get some more energy for Aetherworks Marvel. What gives us treasures? Brass's Bounty would be sweet, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing. Although I guess we could cast that off of an Aetherworks Marvel. It wouldn't be the worst. It would give us enough mana that we can kind of cast whatever we want and get us the energy back for the treasures. I'll throw that in here as just an idea. If we can untap the Marvel with like a Paradox Engine, that would be sweet, but that's also... Oh, let's just throw this in here and see what happens. I'm not sold on it, but maybe a one of Paradox Engine could be really bonkers. Especially if we get to kind of... break things. Okay. So the only thing I was thinking with Paradox Engine was maybe we had the Trophy Mage in the format, but it turns out... Or not the Trophy Mage. The Mage that gets you a expensive artifact. What else can we do to find artifacts? Well, let's find out. Artifact on battlefield and Whir of Invention. Why are you not in this deck right now? Whoo! And it's in colors. Okay. Now we're starting to something. Now that can get a one of Paradox Engine. That can get us our Aetherworks Marble. That sounds really good, actually. Just kind of see how this looks in the field here. I'm actually not even sure we want the Rogue Refiners here. Like, if we're going in on this Artifact Recursion deck, Let's just put it to the sideboard for now. I feel like no matter what, we want these in the deck, but maybe they're just belong to the sideboard. Press's Bounty is not in color, and it's just a little too cute in my opinion. Although I think the power level is there if you can do it, but the question is how often can you? Let's put that over here so we can actually see everything. Okay. So I guess looking at this, we have a 60 card deck. But Witch's Ovens are just, there's no creatures to sacrifice anymore. And the creatures that are there, we don't want to sacrifice. So, okay, Rogue Refiner gets to stay in. Seems pretty good. Tezzeret is a thing. Not that one. This can give us some card draw. Put a couple in here. I did always want to see this. I thought that this could be used well. Might be more of a sideboard card in case we just want to play a bit more of a long grindy game against, like a value deck, like a Delirium green-black deck or something. Drawing cards, putting out Thopters seems fine. Especially if they're all going to die and get marveled, and then we can get them marveled back with Emry and do all kinds of crazy things. Are there any other artifact cantrips? Bind enough Thassa, what do you do? No, you don't draw a card. Huh. No. That seems bad too. Oh wait, I have blue on. Hold on. Let's go back to Pioneer. Okay, so let's go in a bit more on the artifacts. We do have Pithing Needle. It's legal from Return to Ravnica, so those definitely belong in the sideboard. Grafdigger's Cage as well. I only have 2, but we'll change that soon enough. Yeah, I feel like we'll want a few of these. There will be graveyard decks. There will be Arclight Phoenix decks. There will be just zombie decks. I'm sure there's a reason. Also helps with Collected Company, which I'm sure will be huge too. Huh. Yeah, I think the Salvage of Ruin is going to be like a low-key all-star in this deck, especially if I can just keep cycling things with it. Let's look up any other kind of artifacts that we might have missed. The only thing I'm seeing in this build right now is that we don't have a lot of super cheap artifacts. Like, there's no Moxes, there's no zero-drop artifacts that we can just drop in, sacrifice. Let's look for zero-drop artifacts that we might be able to start kind of creating a bit more of an engine with. There's not a lot of zero-drop artifacts. A lot of these are just the backsides of transform cards. Bonesaw. I mean, I guess we just take the Tormod's Crypt and put the main board. Like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We just exile our opponent's graveyard. Doesn't matter, but we can still do the engine here. That might just be it. Like, use Emry, supercharge us, spin the Marvel again until we find Ulamogs. Yeah, that Paradox engine seems a little too cute. We'll just take that out. Yeah. So we gotta cut 2 cards here. What do we cut? I feel like we want to have access to Emry all the time. I don't want to cut those. Same thing with Aetherworks Marvel. What if we did like a 1-of Nexus of Fate? Let me just get this off here. This could be really cool. Like a 1-of Nexus of Fate in case we just want to get a little bit more silly with it. Golden Egg is... I can cut 1. 3 War of Invention is okay. Let's just move the Golden Eggs to the sideboard for now. zoom this out a little bit so you can have an idea of what's in the sideboard. And I mean, this is effectively a deck. We're not full out on the sideboard just yet, but I mean, this doesn't seem like a terrible main board. I mean, we have ways to find our Aetherworks Marvel, Salvager of Ruins, Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, our Tormod's Crypts to just engine out with Emry to start generating more energy if we start running low. I think this is an Aetherworks deck. All right, well, again, in keeping with the spirit of this format here, we are going to cut it there. I feel like I'm onto something here. I don't know how good this is realistically, but I mean, Aetherworks Marvel is too powerful of a card for it to be not abusable. So this is one of the many ways we'll try to abuse it. Really not sure if this is going to be it, but I like the engine part that we can kind of build in here. And until we actually play it, I don't know how good that engine is going to be. But if there is an engine that can be made for energy here, that might be it. There could be other builds for this. I think there might be another more mid-rangey build, but I like this one for now. So we'll cut that off there. This is going to be the rough draft for what an Aetherworks Marvel style deck will be. I'm going to test this a little bit, and if it's up to snuff, we might run it through a league and see what happens. But as always with these brainstorming videos, I'm sure you're probably shouting at your screen, letting me know what card I missed and that I'm dumb for not looking at it, which is entirely true. I'm not an expert on this yet, but we are still working and just flexing our deck building muscles here. So please share with me, what did I miss? What should I have put into here? Did you like this concept build? Is this a good proof of concept? Do you think I'm ludicrous with this and should be spending my time with something else? Whatever you think, throw it in the comments below. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when some more brainstorming videos are up on the channel. With that, thank you for coming out, and we'll see you next time.